All right, party people. We're back with the third and final battle between Goku and Superman. We're going to react to it here together today. Like I said, because you guys pissed me off a couple days ago, we are reacting to strictly death battles that involve at least one Dragon Ball character until we have exhausted that list. Then we can move on and start doing some of the other ones. One thing I do want to point out, though, it's kind of crazy. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Oh, Jesus. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. So, if we take a look here, the third death battle, which came out a little over a year ago, has 250,000 likes on it. The first one, which came out 12 years ago, has 373,000. The amount of likes is almost identical. And this is considered to be like the best one, the best researched, best scaled one. So that shows you how poorly researched that first battle is. That despite having... This has got 6 million views. This has got 47. That despite having almost 8 times as many views, the like count is only off by 100,000. Like... I can't even imagine how many dislikes are on that first battle, but whatever. We'll get into here. Now, I have seen this battle already. I mean, I've seen all of the Goku versus Superman ones before reacting to them here. The thing is, I don't exactly remember what all gets said or how the fight goes specifically. What I do know is this is the first one to be done both post-DC Rebirth. That being said, I don't know if they include stuff from, like, Dark Knight's Metal or that weird, like... moment where everybody got Black Adam powers or whatever the hell was going on. That I don't really remember the details on that. I don't know if this is going to include stuff from like when Superman fought World Forger, but I do know that this does include Goku's new Ultra Instinct form and some of the new techniques that he learned in the manga post Tournament of Power. Again, with how ridiculously strong Superman is, I don't know how much that matters. But it is what we're dealing with here for the sake of posterity. Without any further ado, let's get in. And as always, we're skipping right to when the battle begins. It's time for a death battle! That's what we do here. Oh, so we're already in it. Okay. Nice. This is probably... I do recall this having, like, the best animation the Death Battle has ever had. Whoever sponsored this, you know, the paycheck cleared. We'll finally settle who's stronger. Finally? Oh, Superman sounds better here, too. Ouch. Just fine. Well, you know, if Superman were to ever hit anybody as hard as he could, the universe would shatter. Busted anyway. I like how they just fight to the death as friends every so often. Uh oh. Oops. Well, I guess we can wish it back later. World made of cardboard. All right, I'll show you just how powerful I really am. Oh, hang on, that's pretty cool. I didn't remember that. That's for anybody who's unaware, this is, I guess, a battle of the 90s, because there was a brief moment in the mid-90s where Superman was started to a being made completely of energy. He was blue, then he split into his blue self, and then there was a red duplicate of himself that had, like, the opposite personality. I don't remember it super well. I only ever read the reprint because it was before I was born. But that's pretty cool. Let's see what else we've got here. That's Ultraman and Goku Black. Also pretty cool. The Thought Machine, or the Thought Robot, also known as Cosmic Armor Superman, versus Xeno Goku from Super Dragon Ball Heroes. That's also pretty cool. It's a neat way to like acknowledge the full breadth of the character and its history without having to worry about scaling that, I guess, because like, you know, Cosmic Armor Superman is unscalable in general just because we have no idea what this character here is capable of. Because I don't believe it ever actually fought anyone or anything. I could be wrong about that, and I'm sure you guys will let me know. Oh, his shirt blasted off and his hair turned black again. I actually really like Superman's look here. Yeah, his design's really cool here. It's like a mix of New 52 and Rebirth. Because the symbol isn't fucking stupid. My mom made it for me. Before this portion of the battle really gets underway, we're pausing one more time. Um, I got into... I put a poll up on the main channel many years ago asking, like, with Ultra Instinct, did people think that, or rather, where things were in Dragon Ball Super, did people still think that Goku could defeat Superman? And it became this whole thing about, like, oh, well, with Ultra Instinct, I've always thought that that was strange because when you look at the people that Goku's used Ultra Instinct against, he doesn't tend to win a lot of fights. Um, he lost fighting Jiren with Ultra Instinct because he couldn't control it and his body rejected it and it nearly killed him. Moro, if I'm remembering correctly, I could be... It's been, 5 years since this happened. With Moro, I think that he ran out of energy in the form... Or did he drop out of it intentionally? Because I remember he's like, have you ever trained? I think he needed to get energy from Vegeta's forced spirit fission ability. And that energy was given to Goku so he could re-achieve Ultra Instinct, and then he did his weird, like, Susanoo avatar state thing, and he defeated Moro using that. I'm pretty sure he lost to Granola. I'm pretty sure he lost to Gas, and he got one-tapped by Frieza. All in Ultra Instinct. Even though he's got, full mastery and control over it now, it still doesn't have the greatest combat record. I think it's got a worse combat record than Super Saiyan 3, which is really saying something. Anyway, and I mean, yeah, he beat Kefla in UI Sign, so I'll give him that. I love that move. I played a lot of fighters. I do that move a lot. That's the 236H. No, 214H, sorry. I also just don't really like Ultra Instinct as a concept, because the story seems to keep contradicting what it's supposed to be. Oh, that's the Super Flare that I was talking about before. So this is the World Forger thing that I also mentioned earlier. I don't necessarily think that they should have included that. But if you want to show Goku at his absolute strongest, you should probably also show Superman at his absolute strongest, even if that is a one-off, very specific, special situation. He does not often fly through multiple suns. Yeah, the Susanoo. Which, funny enough, Superman also has one now. I don't know if this was before or after this battle was made, but Superman has his own version of like that Susanoo avatar state thing.
Huh? Ah, darn it. Almost had me there. That was
Don't lie.
actually pretty fun.
Yeah, it sure was.
There's something so funny to me about Goku being dead as fuck here. He's dead as shit. Body was vaporized. Superman having no scratches. Oh, there's Gogeta. I can't really make this out too well. I think that's like Great Priest Goku from Dragon Ball Heroes again. So there's more realities where they're duking it out. This is a throwback to the first battle. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't notice that the first time I watched this. But yeah, Goku's dead as shit. Superman is uninjured, and Goku's like, man, that was fun. Superman's like, I know I just killed you, but hey, let's do it again sometime. Like, that's kind of crazy.
Next time.
I look forward to it.
Old ass man, Kingdom Come Superman. That's I can't remember what he's called. I can't remember what he's called, but I think he also has a lantern ring. I don't know. Superman Prime 1 million versus Super Saiyan God Goku, I think. I don't know. Fighting across all the universes. That's pretty sick. This JoJo ass. Why are they in each other's outfits?
You're on.
That's neat. I like that they're like friends, and they just do this every so often now.
The final, indisputable answer. Who am I kidding? People are gonna argue this one forever.
There's so many ways this battle could go.
I'm sure that, you know, in a few more years, when the Dragon Ball Super anime comes back, and he gets another new form, we'll do it again.
Let's address the 5 categories most
And I also do agree with that. I think like if you take like Injustice Superman or the Henry Cavill Superman or any live action version of the character, Tom Welling, Tyler Hoechlin, Christopher Reeve, Dean Cain, or if you take like the animated series or My Adventures with Superman, any like adaptation of Superman that was made for the mainstream would probably handily lose to Dragon Ball Super era Goku. That's easy to say. However, main continuity, Earth 1, post-crisis, or New 52, well, I won't say New 52, or Rebirth version of Superman would beat Goku. Because he's just so much stronger than any adaptation of the character.
Of this fight. First up, strength. Both could hit hard enough to break or make their whole universe, or take it in stride, like when Superman got smacked by the whole antimatter universe.
At most, Dragon Ball's universe is 1,500.
DC's universe is layered with numerous spatial and fractal dimensions. When comparing arguments that Dragon Ball and DC's universes could be infinite in scope, DC's is much more layered and complex. This is a point that I made many years ago when I reacted to Goku Black versus Reverse Flash on the main channel. Universal feats in Dragon Ball are just different than universal feats in DC Comics because the universe is so much bigger in DC Comics than it is in Dragon Ball. And scaling is just from how big the Earth is versus how big all of the realms and, you know, like the Land of the Kais and all the Kai's planets and Hell and all the other stuff that's within that universe. It's just not as big as the universe in DC Comics.
105 times larger than our own. But based on the DC Universe's officially established age and rate of expansion, it is 1.6 vigintillion times larger. Over a November
There you go.
billion times more than Goku's.
At some point, you reach a number high enough that it just doesn't mean anything anymore. Anyway,
Yeah.
Goku's obviously gotten stronger since the Beerus fight, even by billions or trillions of times. He's defeated Jiren.
Mixie's Pitalik can destroy infinite timelines, all number dimensions, the Bleed, the Sphere of Gods, and the Fifth Dimension. The World Forger is Mixie Pitalik's superior and forged hypertime. Dragon Ball Heroes, Infinite Timelines, and the Crack of Time doesn't meet this scope. That's hard to argue with.
Broly, Moro, and
That goes back to what I was saying about Superman before, is he's able to beat these characters that can... Because he knocked out the World Forger, who's that powerful.
The World Forger feat. Not even
Yeah.
Heroes competes with that. Superman takes
Yeah.
the edge in strength.
but
Easily.
speed and everything. Let's talk speed. Both are obviously way faster than light, but Superman crossed that mega-sized universe of his in seconds and flew
Correct.
faster than infinity.
Makes sense. He can keep up with
Now,
Superman, whose speed is so ludicrous.
Now, we're doing stuff from, like, pre-crisis, which I don't appreciate. Fun fact, Superman can produce 10 billion decibels of sound, which is enough power to destroy... I can't read scientific notation. I'll assume that this is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll assume that this is 10 septillion universes. Classic case of writers cannot do math. That's correct. Well, because people don't write these things with the intention of people going and scaling it and taking it at face value and assuming that this is serious, right? These guys aren't scientists. They're not physicists. They're not trying to be scientifically accurate. They're just trying to write something that is dramatic and striking and grabs your attention when you read it. Why am I looking at Barry Allen?
Chris, it's unquantifiable.
Don't count Goku out, though. Flying
Hi, Pycon.
across the entire afterlife in base form and outspeeding Eos's future sight takes some crazy
I don't know who that is or what that means.
Omnipresent merge timeline.
Cooler intercepted Goku during instant transmission's dimensional hop, which could be an immeasurable speed feat. The Dark Factor, used by several villains Goku fought, could also be immeasurable. The Dark Factor. What is the Dark Factor? The Dark Factor is the life energy possessed by the Dark King. That doesn't help. What is this from? Is this from Heroes? Of course. It's more Dragon Ball Heroes shit. Shit that I said before that I didn't give a fuck about.
Also implies immeasurable speeds.
That, combined with instant transmission and Ultra Instinct, could probably keep up.
Maybe. Quantifiably, Superman is faster, but both are immeasurable.
Because Heroes isn't about anything. Heroes is just random shit happening.
Especially when we look at skills.
It's like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if Cooler had a golden form? No.
Better battle instincts. He wants to fight and is dedicated to his training, while Superman sees training as a means to an end.
Goku could summon backup with game card technology. Not even gonna ask. However, Superman has an army of robot duplicates on par with the Justice League. I don't know what that means either. Superman's bioelectric aura can disable and destroy advanced technology, such as Lex Luthor's war suit. What does on par with the Justice League mean? Are they all as strong as him? Are they all as strong as the Green Arrow? Somewhere in between? What does that mean?
Superman's knowledge and pressure point
Or is there one for each member? Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Use them a few times. It would be disingenuous to say he's an equivalent master at them.
So Goku wins in skill, but not necessarily in experience.
Don't get it wrong, Superman is not a mindless brawler. He's trained with Batman and Wonder Woman. He's
Superman should win a battle of attrition. Goku can fight for a week straight, but his ki and senzu beans are finite. Superman can function indefinitely without rest, eating, or sleeping, and with a constant healing factor so long as he has sunlight.
even defeated
That is correct.
experts like Cobra without powers.
Goku has spent decades training, but Superman battled Norse demons for 1,000 years.
He's also astonishingly brilliant. Like when he reassembled the reality warp.
Oh, the Miracle Machine. Yeah, I do remember that.
This obviously goes to Superman. But perhaps less obvious is our last category, powers.
Hakai, Spirit Bomb, Mafuba, Instant Transmission, God Key, God Bind. Hakai, Spirit Bomb.
Perhaps less obvious is our last category, powers.
Hakai.
You shouldn't give Goku the Hakai. A, he only ever tried doing it once. B, it didn't work. C, he did it wrong. D, he consumed almost all of his own energy trying to do it. And E, when Vegeta started learning how to properly use Destroyer Ki, later on in Dragon Ball Super, way later on, Goku admitted while watching Vegeta train, oh, I didn't even come close to doing it right, huh? And Whis is like, no. No, you were not close. So that... Not a fan of that, but whatever.
Hakai, Spirit Bomb, Mafuba, Instant Transmission, God Key, God Bind. How does Goku not win with those?
In Dragon Ball, Ki is dependent on physical.
Superman could likely counter status debuffs from heroes like Dimensional Domain. Malevolent Kitchen, as he resisted the biological decay field of Doomsday and the power nullification of the Hollow Men. He's also developed resistance to energy-draining villains like the Sun Eater, Parasite, and Silver Banshee. I don't even know what to say. Let's keep going.
So it's different from magic. God Ki is simply pure Ki. And magic isn't an auto win against Superman anyway, whose greater strength
Correct.
could break out of something like the God Bind.
Mafuba and the Spirit Bomb would take way too long. And
Superman has escaped time stops, Vandal Savage's hypertime prison, and the Overvoid. It's unlikely that the Mafaba could contain him. It's also the... Oh, there it is. Lord Beer's signature move, huh? I kind of messed up that time I tried copying it. Even when he tweaks it so that it only destroys Vegeta's armor, it still has much power. It's not a power that's easily mastered. What did I just say? I paraphrased a little bit, but what did I just say? I don't know what the Overvoid is.
Even if he did land it, Superman's impossible to erase from reality. Like, he's tanked Omega Beam,
I literally said that. I literally said that.
Countering instant transmission similar.
While outside his usual arsenal, Goku could potentially acquire reality warping items like the Awakened Key Sword, Dragon Balls, or Universe Tree energy. However, Superman can construct and power the Miracle Machine by himself, which has enough power to rewrite the entire DC cosmology.
Ability from heroes. And regarding teleporting him to a red star, ignoring the fact that Sans can't breathe in space, though Goku's certainly tough enough to withstand a vacuum, instant transmission requires another person to act as a beacon. He can't just warp to any red
Oh, now we know how it works.
Superman could simply fly away and
Now we know how it works. Whatever. Don't piss me off.
pull off the same trick twice, as Superman could phase through his attacks.
So, that's it then. Clark has too many counters, so he takes the edge in powers and it's over.
Well, I think there's something else. Goku versus Superman breaches a broader zeitgeist. It's more than just two characters fighting.
Why do we keep having this same conversation?
In 90s America,
Why did Superman's symbol look like that? Why is it like half Kingdom Come? Who drew that?
characters fighting. For a whole generation, especially in 90s America, superheroes represented an unyielding status quo. Spider-Man, Batman, Captain America rarely change who they are or what they believe in. For a lot of people, that's tiring, and Superman is an icon of that. Then along came...
I'm so sorry.
There was a whole other world of ideas and stories for us sheltered Westerners to experience, and Goku's an icon of
Is that Ranma?
So while many see this as a debate between characters, others see it as a debate of ideologies and culture. And if
Still, I don't care.
Who wants Goku to lose?
Why does the conversation keep becoming about that? These are the only characters that they talk about like this. It's like, oh, suddenly the scaling and the math and all the fucking research that we've done doesn't matter anymore. We just, on a metaphorical level, Goku shouldn't lose. I don't care about that. What the do your job. Have some journalistic integrity.
Sure you're not overthinking this?
It's not our
He definitely is.
It does call into question what we're doing. How can people agree with what we take as fact when fiction relies on interpretation? Are we stripping characters of their importance by simplifying them to contestants in a vacuum of violence? And if so, then what's the point?
Because it's fun, Wiz. Damn it.
Well, that's enough. That's one that I can agree with a lot more. I don't necessarily find it to be too overly offensive. The scaling on that one is perfectly fine. Again, like I keep saying, it doesn't matter what feats Goku gains or what forms he achieves as Dragon Ball returns and he continues to get more powerful, because there's just nothing that any Dragon Ball character can do to defeat Superman. That's just how it is. These are fun, but even though I agree with the outcome of these, it still proves that Dragon Ball characters typically lose, because Goku has now lost 3 straight times in a row. So, I'll see you next time with, let's do Hulk and Broly next. That seems fun.